Hey everybody, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, today's Thursday. Oh, is it? Let me make sure. Yep, Thursday the 7th. I've been home for a week now. Sorry for no camera update, video update. By the way, welcome to Sheepdog Logic. I'm Sheepdog, and this is where we work on vehicles, anywhere from Sgt Major. I still haven't given that guy a name yet. And we got the drill sergeant over there. And we got the scorched orange Harley in the barn. But I work on all kinds of things. Because I say to myself, if that man can do it, I can do it. The only difference between that man and me is he's got an education. He went to school. He got a certificate in mechanics. I never did that. I learned since I was a kid how to work on cars. I grew up, I was 8 or 9 years old the first time I ever worked on a car. My dad worked on cars. I helped him out, handed him tools, learned about tools and all that. My uncles and all that had to work on cars too, and I helped them out. And so I'm a self-taught mechanic. A little bit by my dad. He didn't teach me a whole lot. I just stood there and watched him and asked him questions, that kind of thing. And had an uncle teach me how to change a tire, so I know how to change tires. Never had a relative teach me how to work on a motorcycle. I learned all that on my own. Or a semi-truck for that matter. The semi-truck's just bigger than a car and pretty much got everything the same, just bigger. So to me, a semi's a lot easier to work on than a car. But whatever. Anyway, so this is Sheepdog coming at you from Sheepdog Logic, and I thought I'd come at you with an update / this is what we're going to do, this is what we've done. So I've lifted the cab. Now I'm going to run you through some things that I've done. I haven't done a video on everything I've done because of this, simply. These are all little tie-ins, things that need to be done to tie up, to close up, finish up, that type of stuff. It's little tedious stuff that just ain't worth the time to set up a video camera to show you something simple like, connecting a line or something. So let me flip this camera around, and I'm going to walk you through what's been done, where we're at, what we're going to do today, what's got to be done yet, and we'll go from there. All right, we're going to start over here on the driver's side. So as you can see, we got the tank back on. We've got the power steering reservoir mounted on the new stack mount. That's where it goes. It doesn't look pretty, but it's on there. It's mounted. I just got to add fluid to it. As you can tell, I had to cut the step out a little bit to make room for the step on the tank in order to sit parallel to the frame like it's supposed to. So it sits nice now. Yep, sits in there like it's supposed to. Tank's all mounted. Everything's got anti-seize on it. This thing is cab mate, which goes up to that thing right there. Yep, that connects, brings it all the way down, and sits in this cradle right here, and this lock flips over and locks it in place. So this one's mounted, and the one on the other side is mounted. Hydraulic lines are all hooked up, hidden and zip tied. I still got to add a couple more zip ties. I do have the air connected to these, so these are all connected, mounted in place. They work fine. I haven't been able to air up the airbags yet, obviously, but we'll get to that. So I have the air lines hooked up to them, so they're ready to be aired up. The cab pump is ready to rock and roll. It works fine. I got to add more fluid to it. Still waiting on that. That's not due here until after the 11th. I showed you this in the last video. That's the stuff right there. I'm using that. So anyway, so still waiting on that. Okay, so on this side, engine, we still got to change this out, this whole thing. And some of y'all might not understand this is what needs to be replaced. But this is metal, this is aluminum. Metal bolts going into aluminum, you know what that does. So I've always been told to just change the whole thing out. So I've been spraying that with HOOAH for years now, so hopefully them will break loose. We got to clean up this frame from here all the way forward, clean up that corner mount and the steering deal here. I'm not sure what that's called, but I'm gonna clean that up, paint them black, so that'll all be painted black. And oh, by the way, the paint, yeah, and I still got to add the fuel pump right there and then the starter over there, but I'm not doing any of that. And if you noticed, I got my Davco fuel filter mounted in place. Had to drill one hole. It's mounted, but it's not staying there. I got to add a fuel line from this side up to there, and then a 6-foot new fuel line from the tank to it. So, but I'm not going to leave it there because I got to do motor work. So once the motor work's done, bam, mount it right back there. So other than that, painting the frame, cleaning it up, painting the frame, and running them fuel lines, that's all that's got to be done on this side. So we move over to the other side. And this baby right here, as you can see, is just, at least I hope you can see, it's just tore up, rusted out right here. And that's what's holding that cab up and pivots forward and backwards. So that's got to be changed out. And this has all got to be cleaned up, painted. I'm going to take this one off. Brake chamber is what that's called. I'm going to take it off, take it down International. They're going to give me 2 brand new ones, so I'll replace both of them. I'm going to mount the oil bypass filter right here. I got to bring it out a couple inches and so it'll bypass this. But yeah, that's where it's going, right in this area. And then that's where the new cab tank or tank strap mount's going, right there. I got to disconnect these lines from where I've already made their connections so I can run them through here. Once I mount it, they'll run through there. And let's see, I got to get some, let's see. Yeah, oh, and so we're talking about just what I got to do to do the drivetrain and the frame and everything to be all done there. Then I can start on the motor. So I'm not talking about the motor today. I'm talking about just what's left besides the motor. So again, on the other side, just clean up paint, change out the brake chamber. That's it for that side. This side, change out the corner mount, clean it up, paint it, change out the brake chamber, add the oil bypass filter, add the tank strap mount, put the tank back on. Of course, I got to clean this thing up. I don't know what all this is all over it, but I'm going to clean that up. I got to get my pressure washer out today and clean some stuff up before I can spray with OSPO and then paint. So again, up to this point, just add the tank. I do got to get some liquid weld right here. This is cracked. Oh no, yeah, it's cracked. So I'm gonna liquid weld that real good. This is supposed to turn. It slides forward like this. Gets right about here. Oh, no, I don't want to turn. But anyway, you know what? I'm not going to be wrong about that, so I'm going to get over here on the other side. Show you guys what that's supposed to do. It bolt right here, and it gets to that bolt right there. Now, for some reason, it don't want to turn today because it did the other day. Let me hold the camera with my arm right here. I don't know why. I went too far. Hold on, camera. Don't be turns just like I'm covering up the camera. So that faces upwards. So when you pull it out of the cab, you can add oil. But that's what that's for. And then you just turn it and put it back. Just like that. That don't work as good as it used to, but I can get it working again. So I got to fix that. Like I said, add the tank strap mount to that spot right there. These are all connected. Everything's connected. Airline's connected. Oh, so right there. This is where I made my airline connection. This is the pressure protection valve. Comes out here, goes up right there. Plugs into this side, which is the leveling valve right there. Yep, that's the leveling valve for the cab mates. So that's all connected. Just got to air it up. There's the new corner cab mount. It's got to go in over there. Yep, right there. So we got to replace that, and that'll finish up this side. Of course, got to paint the whole frame with that metallic paint, or metallic, idiot, semi-gloss black paint. I'm going to use the semi-gloss, and the reason I'm going to do that is because if you look, here's a good example. This is semi-gloss and this is flat black. It just doesn't match. It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to paint the whole thing semi-gloss and be done with it. Okay, moving on to the rear here. I got the lights back out because I came up with a plan. These type of lights, if you look at these are the mounting bolts. They're supposed to mount right here. Well, there's no room. There's not enough room back here to mount those. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these plates out. This is plenty thick enough. It's kind of corrugated. Plenty thick enough, strong enough. I'm going to cut these two plates out, one for each side. And I'm going to put, excuse my coffee here, turn these around. I've already got the holes marked where I'm going to drill them. I'm going to drill them so these go right through here, and that plate's going to go in between. So this and this will be sandwiched. The plate will be sandwiched in between here on both sides, and that plates is what's going to hold these up. Now I'm going to wire them up. And yeah, get some mud flaps for them and put them on. That's what I'm working on today. Started working on it yesterday and ended up cutting my finger with the grinder wheel again. That's about the third time in a year. But yeah, so there's the I got to put the wheel caps on, wheel covers, got to do those. But and eventually, we're not that far off, so hold on. So yeah, we're not far from being done at all. My goal still this year is to get all that I just mentioned completed, drivetrain wise, and get started on the motor. But I'm not holding my breath to finish the motor. I got three things I got to change on that motor: intercooler, exhaust cooler, and exhaust manifold. At least I think that's the name of the three things. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take them off the motor that I bought. Right, I'm going to take the good parts off there and put them on the motor that's currently in there. So we're going to get started on them lights today. But yeah, so like I said, I can't videotape every little thing I do because it's a lot of connections, a lot of, like, shoot, just this step alone. Just that step alone, getting that straight, getting that reservoir mounted, all of that took 2 days. I mean, and it's just tedious work because, like I said, you're as a self-taught mechanic, I never worked on this stuff before. So you learn as you go, right? You picture things going there, and you're like, it looks like they can go there. You test it out, yeah, it'll go there. So then you got to put it there. Well, then you don't know things until you put it there. And like the step wouldn't fit right. Once I mounted the steering reservoir, the step wouldn't. It had to sit crooked. Well, my OCD doesn't like that at all. So I came up with a plan to cut the little part of the step out so it would push back against the power steering reservoir and sit straight. And I've done that, so I've got that part finished. So I mean, the driver's side is pretty much wrapped up other than paint and the brake chamber change out, replacement, and the fuel filter, you know, hooking up the fuel lines, which I've got the two fuel lines right here. This is the short one that goes from the Davco fuel filter to the actual pump. I'm going to replace it. And then I got the actual original fuel line, and I'm going to replace that. So 6 foot of that and a couple feet of the other one. I got to find 2 fittings, one for each side to go to the actual fuel filter, and I can connect all them. But there ain't no sense of connecting them fuel lines until I've got the motor work done, and I've installed the fuel pump, and I've installed the starter. And one thing I'm going to do before I even get started on the motor is hook up all these lights, right? And hook up the battery so I can have power to the dash, so I can have power to the truck, so I can turn on the lights, make sure that all the lights work, right? That'll be done. So the drivetrain will be completely done. And then all I got is the motor. And yeah. Being that it's September 7th, I'm not holding my breath for the motor this year. Next spring, probably. Yep. But I'm working hard. I'm gonna get it done. So we still got to get them ramps, 5th wheel ramps mounted. I can drill the holes and mount them that way, but the rest of it's got to be welded. And I'm just not gonna focus. I'll just take. I know a shop right now I can take it to. They'll weld them on for me, so I ain't worried about that. And I'm gonna have to replace the tires because they've been sitting for so long. But that ain't gonna be nothing. This is all just before it goes on the road, because obviously it's gonna have to be inspected. I got to get plates for it and all that. But I'm getting way ahead of the game here. So today, like I said, I'm gonna work on them lights. I want to get them mounted. That'll be another big picture thing that's finished. But I already explained how I'm going to do it, so I'll bring you back periodically to show you where I'm at on it. But I'm not going to set up video. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving around, but just trust me. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, I got the 2 pieces cut out. They're going to go like that. And then the lights are going to go down here where my thumb's at, and you know, I think you can picture how it's going to go. And I already got the 2 holes cut out for these. These will fit right in there. And then I got the 2 holes marked. So this plate's going to go right there. These are going to go through this plate and through this bolt, washer, nut on the other side. So this is all going to be tied together, both sides. This is how it's going to go. So there's your update on that. I got to go I got to drill these holes out. I got to go mark these holes, drill these holes out. And I'm ready to put it all together. Well, I got to paint these. I'm going to paint them black. Then I got to peel this stuff off before I put it together. Yeah, so I'll bring you back when I got it all put together before I put it on the truck. All right, I got it. I got all the holes drilled. This is a mock-up. This is what it's going to look like, obviously. This is the back of it. So, like, you know, the fronts, you know, obviously. This is just a mock-up to show you. I got the 2 holes drilled out over here. I'm thinking about putting a plate in here, and I got a couple of plates to put in there just to strengthen it up a little bit. I don't know, just OCD stuff. Anyway, I got the holes drilled there, and I got the holes drilled over there. And I'm just going to utilize these 2 holes right here that the old mud flap hangers, that's where they were attached for years and years and years, and I took them off, and I'm just going to utilize them 2 holes to hold the bracket to the frame. And I got the brackets all drilled out and painted. Now they're just sitting there drying. And what I got to do now, I mean, that's all ready to go together. All ready to go together. Put the bolts through the spacer, brackets in there, bolt it all down, tighten it up. Like I said, I think I'm going to put in a bracket because I got a couple extra pieces. Drill them out, put them in there, and just give it more stability. I don't know. This is pretty thick. It is pretty thick. I'm not really that worried about it because this is all light stuff. This is really the heaviest part, are these outside pieces. This is light. Not that worried about it. Yeah, if a vehicle hits this, or heaven forbid I back into anything, it's going to twist this metal. And you know, there is a spring in here, but I think this metal's weaker than that spring, so this will twist first. Makes no difference to me. If it happens, it happens. But I think once I get that bracket in there and bolt everything down, yeah, I may go ahead and utilize those two pieces I got, put one over there and one over here, and just do it, make it a little bit stronger. But that's the mock-up. Now I've got to take these lights off. Yep, and to do that, I gotta take out this bolt and this bolt on both sides over there too, and they've been in there forever, so I've been spraying them. Or actually, sorry, this bolt and this bolt. Yeah, that one and that one. Them two bolts right there, got to take out. To take that light out, and then this bolt and that bolt right there, I got to take out to take that light out. Then I got to put them bolts back because they're actually part of the frame connection and all that, blah blah blah. And then I can put the new lights right up underneath there. It'll come right across here. It'll look good. So when it's done, that bar will stick out about right here. By the time the airbags are filled up, it'll be about just over the halfway mark for the mud flaps. And I don't even have mud flaps for it yet, but I ain't picked out a set. But I'll have to get them and cut them to fit. But that'll look good once it's on there. That'll be all done. And then the next biggest piece obviously is the exhaust. So let me get back to work, and I'll bring you back. All right, there it is. It's mounted. Now it ain't wired, and I still got to get all that protective wrap off there, but I'm not going to rush to do that. Get it all scratched up just sitting here, so I'm just going to leave that on there until I'm ready to pull it off. But got to wire it up. Had to go to the hardware store today to get the bolts to mount it to the frame on both sides, and then the bolts to put back in here and here that I had to cut out to get the old lights off. So I just got it mounted up there. It's tight. These still got the springs in them, so they spring. And that center piece there, it's strong. It ain't moving. So I got to get me some mud flaps ordered for it, and get them put on, get it wired up, and get the rest of the lights wired up, and we can see them operate. So that's going to wrap it up for this install. So y'all have a good one. Thanks for coming to Sheepdog Logic, and I'm Sheepdog, and we'll talk to you next time.